Alright guys, we're going beyond the stars again. Yet again, we are waiting for it to cash up. There it goes. And we're going to carry on. This is episode 3, I think. Or episode 4. I can't remember. Anyway, link will be in the description, usual stuff. Let's kick off. Okie dokie, right, okay, so she's here. She's back.
The captain and ambassador have it handled. I've got my own mission.
Right, okay. So your mission, what was your mission again? Is it journal? Spacebar. Right, where is she? Carter. Carter? Jara, right, okay. Controls, mods, your crew. Okay. Have I got to go through all that again? Hope we don't have to go from the start. Anyway, this is a good thing. Here we go, she's back. Right, okay. Speak with members of the faction. Right, okay. So obviously... Don't she walk like she's 10 men?
Commander,
Commander!
after hearing so much about the Federation's sense of fairness and justice, I was surprised that you sided with the Illyrians. In all honesty, I expected more, especially from someone like you.
I'll just recall what I was doing.
I'm not on either side of this conflict. Our only interest is peace.
On the Illyrians' terms, apparently.
Looks like he's got an SD card on his front.
You were there the day the mines were seized from the Illyrians.
Not seized. Reclaimed. And restored to their rightful owners. Yes, I was there. We had to be decisive. Before the Illyrians could even realize their worst nightmares upon them.
I'm curious why the Illyrians haven't fought back. They have the ability to retake the mines anytime they want.
Ability is one thing. Courage is another. The Illyrians know any hostile action on their part will not end well. They respect one thing above all else, and that is force. The greater the force, the more certain the outcome. Any talk of making peace is just that, and worth little without the strength to secure it. Which makes me wonder about your ship, the Resolute. Undoubtedly the Federation's finest warship. Ready to contend with anything the Illyrians might have in store. Or is that not true? Maybe I've misjudged it.
No need to worry. Even in a worst-case scenario, the fleet is always within reach.
But it would probably take them quite some time to get here.
Maybe. Or we might have other ships in the sector.
Of course.
Okay, he's about a lot, isn't it?
A pleasure meeting you, Commander. I'm sure we'll cross paths again.
I hope not. So I'm just biting a fingernail. It's doing me head in. Right, she's going to have some water. A bit of water. I'll talk to her in a minute.
Soothing.
What, can't she drink water or something? Okay, we can't go to her, we can go to this woman. Here we go.
Commander Rydec, I have to admit, I was surprised when you said the Illyrians should control the dilithium trade. I was under the assumption the Federation was neutral, but maybe I was wrong.
I can assure you, we aren't on anyone's side. We are and will remain completely neutral. You have my word.
I hope that's true, for all of our sakes. I saw you speaking with Sidron, our national hero. I'm curious, what did he say?
He seems to be of the opinion that negotiating for peace is a waste of time.
Because force is the only blunt instrument he understands. He's a miner, not a diplomat. For the first time in our history, the Hotari have the upper hand. We see ourselves as strong instead of downtrodden. New voices have risen up. Old voices shouted down. Galvin and Sidron have become national heroes. Now they have the Queen's ear. For better or worse, depending on your perspective.
I take it they're against a negotiated peace with the Illydians.
Heroes tend to want more of what made them heroic. If it were up to them, they'd wage all-out war and bring ruin upon us all. My fear has been that the Illydians will launch an attack and crush us. You've seen their starship, no doubt. They could have retaken the mines whenever they wanted to, but it never happened. And as strange as this may sound, I'd almost say they're afraid. I just don't know what they're afraid of. It's still the same bluster and bravado you would expect from them. But it has no teeth. Like they're afraid of what might happen.
I think I
think it has something to do with the ion storm. Right now, it's stronger than ever, isn't it?
It's entirely possible. I'm not a scientist, but I do know the storm has knocked out all kinds of systems. So maybe the Illydians weren't willing to risk their ships, given all the interference. Since the day of the revolt, Galvin has seized control of the mines and restricted all access. No one's allowed without his personal authorization. And they've taken over a section of the palace with just as much secrecy and security. I'm told it could be something they brought back from the mines. I've made inquiries, but everyone pretends it doesn't exist. I strongly suspect they're hiding something.
What do you think it is?
I've heard rumors it's some sort of ancient artifact, but I haven't seen it myself.
How can we know?
A fossil of some form.
I'd better see what's happening.
Do you think you can find out what they're hiding?
The Enterprise.
I need to see proof of something before I can make my case.
It's Captain Kirk, innit?
I can try, but even if I found it, I might not know what to make of it.
I'm strictly keeping this PG-13, by the way.
Take this.
Well, I could be.
You can use it to capture
I could say some bad comments.
And then send it to me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I will let you know what I find. And
Alright.
I look forward to our meeting again.
Fantastic. Right, so what we've got to do, he's an ugly thing, isn't he?
Sorry, I don't mean to bother you, but I couldn't help but notice you were speaking with the Hotari this whole time. I figured it might be useful if I offered another perspective.
Of course.
Okay, ugly.
I have to say, I fully expected you to side with the Hotari, but obviously the Federation wants a steady supply of dilithium. Something only we can offer. Without Illydian involvement, there is no dilithium trade. Left to the Hotari, it would be nothing short of a disaster.
Of all my concerns, dilithium is not one of them. I could care less about securing a supply, now or in the future.
I'd be curious to know if the rest of the Federation shares your indifference. Major Salit Arminta, Special Attaché, Illydian Armed Forces. A pleasure to meet you.
Commander Rydec, First Officer, USS Resolute.
Yes. A research ship, if I'm not mistaken. Interesting.
Yeah.
I have my issues with the Hotari, but I have to give them some credit. They know how to seize an opportunity. Inciting an uprising the same day as a massive, once-in-a-lifetime ion storm.
Our assumption was that this storm was just an anomaly.
Yes, a very convenient anomaly. At least that was what we were told. Of course, I wasn't there. But who am I to say otherwise?
Something tells me there's more to the story. So what really happened?
Well, The official story is that it was the storm that enabled the revolt. How else do a bunch of unarmed, unorganized miners seize control of an entire moon, much less thousands of mines? But I've talked to people who were there. They tell a different story. They say they're lucky to have escaped with their lives. That it was more than just the storm. That somehow the miners were able to harness the energy from the storm. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not even sure I believe it myself. But that's what they said.
You said the Hotari were primitive.
Well, they are.
Except for the part about weaponizing ion storms.
The dialogue doesn't really change, it's just the questions are slightly different, doesn't it? But the outcome of each dialogue message is the same. Right, okay, report your findings to Captain Solano. Right, okay, let's go. Run, 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 rabbit, run, 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 rabbit, run, 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 rabbit, run. I'm probably going the wrong way, aren't I? Like a pillock. Yeah, I am. Okay.
They seem proud of their culture. Pride can lead to rash action.
Yeah, especially when it put you the wrong way. Right, okay. And all we see now is bleeding pride flags. Who's only pride? Are they pushing it on it? No, no, not really. They're going to try and push it in video games. Go away. We've got something similar there, haven't we? We're not saying anything anyway. Okie dokie, right, we're going. Does this allow?
Well, that was a disaster.
What happened?
The Hotari refused to concede anything, so the Illydians stormed out.
And Spot just walked
The
on.
Hotari did not invite us here as peacekeepers.
I thought he was a lot taller than
I
him.
hope your efforts were more fruitful than ours.
Spy. Good or bad, I wonder.
Gravitational harmonics failing to resolve. Warp bubble stability degrading. Increase output to maximum.
Increasing warp output to maximum.
It's happening again.
It's happening again. Whoa. What failed?
It is evident that presently the Resolute cannot achieve warp propulsion.
Since our diagnostics rule out any problems with our warp systems or anything about the ship, the problem appears to be the fabric of space itself.
Space itself? You're saying something about this region of space prevents warp travel?
Prevents it, or can't sustain it.
However improbable, that appears to be the case.
Well, couldn't we slowboat it out of here at impulse speed?
It may come to that, but we don't know how far this warp dead zone extends. Captain Solano is on his way back from the negotiations, and I want to have some answers for him when he gets here.
Indeed. Given the facts at hand, we may be able to deploy subspace probes around the ship to construct a clearer picture of the phenomenon.
Around the ship. I'll prep a shuttle.
Oh. Scientific method. Oh. One sec, because I need to stop the music because I got a mention in YouTube that I was using copyrighted music.
A waypoint at a distance roughly corresponding to the edge of our warp field. When we get there, I'll deploy the first probe.
Okay. Ascend, descend. Alright, okay, let's go.
Commander Westbrook, the Resolute systems are calibrated to receive the probe's readings. We are standing by to reproduce the warp field collapse after the first probe is deployed.
Thank you, Mr. Chovak. We'll be in position shortly.
And, Mr. Diaz, do take care in piloting the shuttlecraft. Now is not the time to indulge in the human penchant for joyriding.
Chovak probably isn't such a fun guy to work for, huh?
Yeah. You could say he's a bit of a dick.
I always seem to find a way to push his buttons. Yeah, I think he'd blast me out of the airlock if he thought it would help increase engine efficiency by 0.1%.
Well, don't worry about it. Chovak's opinion isn't the only one that matters. Last time I checked, I was still Chief Science Officer, and you made a hell of an impression on Ambassador Spock. I'm the one who should be worried with this new first officer on board.
1.5 kilometers, we're just taking it easy. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Huh. Okay, we're here.
This is far enough. Transporting the first probe into position.
Okay.
Westbrook here. The first probe is deployed.
Understood. We are reading it. We are about to replay the simulation.
Problem?
I just can't get a handle on her. Commander Rydec. She rejected my plan to use a deflector pulse against the storm surge. But on the other, she did listen to my advice and use the whole polarity trick to get you through that excursion alive. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the new XO. I'm sure she's a fine officer, even if we don't see eye to eye. But she didn't go through what the rest of us did. You know that. And it's hard to figure out why she'd be the one Solano chose instead of, well, one of us.
Me.
I've heard some good things. You should at least give her a chance.
I'll take that under advisement.
Test is running. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1, mark.
Whoa. All right, that is definitely a problem with the fabric of space. We need to get another probe out there.
It's life, Jim, but not as we know it.
Data, the Resolute and the probe. We've managed to get an interference pattern. I'm setting a waypoint to a particularly strong area of interference. We'll deploy the second probe there. Listen, I'm gonna give you a piece of advice I wish someone had given me. Make sure you're never just one thing. And don't get so focused on what's in front of your face that you lose sight of the big picture. Before Rydec showed up, the captain pulled me into his ready room and told me he didn't think I had the people skills to be first officer. What a load of crap.
Well, if you're asking, I think you're a people person. After all, here we are. Me, an enlisted officer. You, one of the senior staff. Talking like old buddies.
I should send Solano to talk to you.
Bring him on.
I'm sure you can handle him. You've got potential. You're a capable engineer. You're good in the field. Keep up the good work, and who knows? A solid jack of all departments like you could be Commander-in-Chief of Starfleet one day.
Ooh, it's a bit
Hell,
difficult.
Admiral Jellicoe started as a shuttle pilot.
I don't know. I'm pretty happy where I am.
You must be a glutton for punishment. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has been known to take decades to warm up to people.
Chovak, he's one of my favourites, him. Who's that Chovak? I might have got mixed up with someone. I don't know. Ignore me, guys. Chovak. Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Chovak. I think. If I get
Here. This is close enough. Stop the engines. Deploying the probe. Westbrook to Commander Chovak. We're ready for another sampling of data.
Very good. Running the simulation again. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1. Mark.
There it is again.
I saw it. It seems to be directional.
Well, what about the scans? Anything?
Nice, just saw blue buttons
Here's
and
the
yellow
readings
ones.
in relation to our local space. We've got the Resolute, Otari Prime, and the probes.
All this interference is overloading the sensor buffers. We're gonna have to triangulate the sensors manually.
I'm not too sure how you do it. Alright, oh. I'm not too sure what you're supposed to do here. I don't know how you do it. Move rectangle.
We got something.
These
Oh,
markers
right.
indicate peaks in the gravimetric interference patterns.
Let's see if I can find some more.
Keep going on until we find something. There you go.
Hold up. This is coming from the moon.
A beam that blocks warp travel.
Aimed right at us.
Someone is doing this intentionally. I don't know how they're doing it. This is like nothing I've ever seen.
When someone punches you in the face, you hit back, Commander.
Right. But we need to know where and how to do it. Now, look here. It's current readings of the ion storm.
These concentrations, they line up with the interference pattern. The storm and this beam, they're coming from the same place.
Carter, whatever petty local conflict brought us here, it's just a small part of something much bigger.
It's life, Jim, but not as we know it. I've got to stop being sarcastic.
Presently, we don't have an explanation for how they're doing this. But one thing is
Suspicions.
clear. This is no fluke.
Thank you, Mr. Westbrook. I want a full briefing when I'm back on board. Solano out. A targeted weapon that inhibits warp travel. Coming from the moon Tau.
That would explain the difficulties my shuttle encountered. More importantly, the tenor of the Hotari during the negotiations.
And here I thought the Illidians would be the problem. Coming to peace talks in a warship.
Yeah, it does sound a bit
This
dodgy.
wasn't supposed to be so complicated.
We're right to be worried. If they're targeting the Resolute and we can't go to warp, that effectively leaves us at their mercy.
Which puts us in a rather difficult position.
Especially if they have more tricks up their sleeve.
Tylus, the Hotari representative, said she thought they found something in the mines. Galvin and Sidron brought it back to the palace, but they're keeping it under tight security. She's going to investigate it. I gave her my tricorder. I expect she'll contact us soon.
You found an ally.
Why would Tylus help us? Go behind her people's back? It's a fair question, considering.
She's worried that her people are being dragged into something that isn't going to end well for them. She's trying to save them.
That may be true.
She's certainly more likely to help than the other Hotari we've met.
That raises another question. Specifically, what do the other Hotari have to gain in bringing us here, only to make this hostile maneuver against us? There must be some motivation.
Unless they changed their minds between when they asked and when we got here.
Sidron was very curious when we spoke outside the Queen's chamber. He wanted to know all about us, our ship, the Federation. He wasn't giving any answers. He was looking for them.
Yeah,
Well,
looking
I'm
for
sure you didn't
kinks.
tell him too much.
No.
I don't think the Illidians know what's really down on that moon either.
Major Armintas said the revolt defied explanation. That the Hotari miners somehow harnessed the energy of the storm.
Harness the energy of the storm?
Doing that is beyond even our capabilities.
So is a weapon that disrupts warp travel.
There have been civilizations and entities, both past and present, far more technologically advanced than the Federation.
The Illidians and Hotari don't fall into that category.
But that is all the more reason to investigate further.
I keep hearing her.
Sorry to interrupt. I've received an urgent call from Hotari. The Queen's advisor, Tylus, has asked to speak with you.
Atari. I keep thinking Atari, not Hotari. Huh? Beam me up, Snotty.
Galvin and Sidron are still with the Queen. I've enlisted help to gain access to the room they have under guard. I don't have much time.
I'm not supposed to leave my post.
It's only for a moment. I so appreciate your help.
I found something. I'm sending you a scan.
Got it. Tylus, if we needed to gain access to the mines on Tau, is that something you could help us with?
I suppose it wouldn't be easy, but I have to go.
Tylus.
Can we reconnect?
Sorry, Captain. We've lost all contact.
She's
We can
pulled the
only
plug
hope
on
she
the phone.
escaped without harm.
Yeah.
It was hard to tell.
I'm the one who got her into this. If something happens to her, it's my fault.
She's one of the Queen's closest advisors. I'm sure she'll be fine. Assuming the Queen isn't part of this. Let's see the scan of whatever the hell that was.
Ooh, okay.
Tylus suspects this came from the mines on Tau.
It appears to be of ancient origin, but the markings are unfamiliar.
We can run a full analysis when we get back to the Resolute. But if this came from the mines, then it might be the key to how they got the upper hand against the Illidians.
Then we have to go into the mines.
The Federation would not allow that. We were, after all, sent here to be a neutral party in a peace negotiation. However, we could demonstrate that the Hotari have acted in bad faith, which would enable us to investigate the mines on Tau with full justification. But of course, we would need conclusive proof before taking action.
Whatever this artifact is may be proof enough. At least to satisfy the Federation.
Especially if we can show the Hotari are controlling the warp disruption. And targeting the Resolute.
We may have a better understanding once we analyze the device. But a mission to the mines, covert or otherwise, is not out of the question. And I will handle the Federation.
As I was telling Carter, I want all the data I can get on this warp problem. And the negotiating team's shuttle has been recording data all the way back from Hotari. Even better than our probes. So pull the sensor and engine ISOs from the Melville when it sets down.
Will do.
I'll join you and Chovak down in engineering to run another analysis after the briefing.
I didn't like this warp problem when we thought it was some astronomical anomaly. And I like it a hell of a lot less now that we know someone is doing it to us. How does it work? What do we even do about it?
What do you say we pull these chips and
Blow up
find
the
out?
moon. Ah! Oh, here we go.
Took some damage on the way. That ionic interference scored the hull plating. Might be some micro welds. Let's try pulling together.
All right.
3, 2, 1. It won't budge. Gotta be the storm damage. We need to... Welcome back. Any excitement down on the surface?
Excitement? No. Nothing like that.
Hey, can you hand me the EJ7 interlock? From the toolbox.
I don't know what that is.
Not much use for one on a security detail, huh? Carter?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Right, do I know what it is? Basically a penknife.
Okay, I'll apply pressure while you decouple the panel.
All right, okay.
Here, I'll help.
Freezer.
We've got this.
Open up and say ah.
Thanks for the hand. We have to get these isolinear chips down to engineering.
No problem. You really know everything about these ships, don't you? The tools, the systems. Like a walking Starfleet technical manual.
Well, what can I say? I'm good at what I do.
I can see that.
Come on, start pulling chips.
Oh, you don't like her? She's a big head, isn't it? Oh, is it 5 or S? Is it S or 5? Right, okay. Oh.
What's this?
Some kind of crystal formation?
Whoa. This substance is a quantized spin crystallization of hydrogen, carbon, and lithium. It's emitting tetrametric pulses at an interval of 3.8422 seconds.
Quantized crystallization isn't natural. I mean, it's only theoretical as a means to engineer matter on a subatomic level. What's it doing in there?
I wouldn't pick that up. Use a
Wait.
glove.
Regulation 364, subsection 9.
What?
Regulation 364, subsection 9 orders that in the case of an unknown foreign substance infiltrating a sealed system, it will be placed in secure confinement before further examination. Retrieve a containment module.
Don't you think we're more equipped to deal with whatever this is?
No. Before anything else, this is a security issue. You don't even know what this is.
Which is why we need to study it.
Once it's contained.
Just leave it there for now. Messing around with it could be dangerous. At least until we know more.
That's exactly why we need to get it to the containment lab. I can't make an exception just for you.
I'm still going to report these crystals to Commander Westbrook when we send the shuttle data.
And I will inform my superiors. I'm taking this just as seriously as you are. But I overheard talk about the warp disruption on the shuttle. Now these crystals? Maybe this situation is more than we can handle with just a science vessel. We could trigger a distress call, get Starfleet to send more ships. Or I could send a message to my old CO on the Adirondack. Get some combat-tested vessels. We shouldn't do this alone.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah.
If you think you could do it without getting in trouble.
I'll find a way.
Be very careful.
Okay, stand back. Get this to the containment lab. We'll get it set up for you. I'll let you know when it's safely confined.
Oh, we'll be there.
Last thing you want is to study this down in main engineering and have it explode next to the warp core.
It's your point. Huh?
Almost forgot.
You can't have that.
No, you're not allowed that. You get sacked.
For a second, I thought she'd gone cold on you.
No, I think she wants a bit more
Like she
than
might have
we.
changed her mind.
What we do.
But I guess this whole situation has her spooked. Maybe she knows more than us? Or it's because this is all happening so fast? But she usually doesn't scare easy.
Well, of course she's taking it seriously, but that's her job. When she's on duty, she's got to be on the lookout for danger.
Yeah, but talking about sending a distress call on her own? That's going too far. Although, you didn't seem to think so.
Yeah, well, it was a last minute
She was
second.
probably just thinking out loud. I'm
last
sure she'll
second
come to her
choice
senses.
for me. Yeah.
This mission has enough complications stacking up.
Now, we'll get through it. You, me, and Miranda too.
A nice threesome. Yeah.
Commander Rydec
Symbols of
was able
legends.
to work behind the scenes during the negotiations and made contact with a representative from the Hotari delegation named Tylus. She mentioned an unusual artifact of unknown origin being held under tight security within the Hotari palace, which she believes came from the mines on Tau. Now, this artifact might have a connection to the revolt, to the storm, and to the warp disruption we now know has been targeted at the Resolute. Commander Rydec, if you want to take it from here.
Of course. Tylus managed to infiltrate the heavily guarded location within the palace and sent us these scans using my tricorder. It appears to be some sort of control panel, possibly connected to the warp disruption weapon originating on Tau. Of particular interest is this symbol, which we couldn't identify the origin of.
The Federation database has records from a vast number of civilizations. If anyone from Starfleet has come across this before, the system should recognize it.
Cross-referencing with Federation records.
Displaying symbols from Federation database with a 90% probability of match or higher. Select a symbol to further analyze.
Romulan. I think. I don't know that symbol.
99.2% match.
Got it.
Tokon Senpai.
So, what are we looking at?
The design and composition indicate this is a glyph associated with the ancient Kcin Empire. Their civilization collapsed over 600,000 years ago, but once spanned millions of systems with a population numbering in the trillions.
Fascinating. The Kcin were once the most advanced, most powerful civilization in the galaxy.
Is it possible the Hotari found Kcin technology?
Looks like
I
it.
wonder if they even know what they have.
Our knowledge of the Kcin is limited. I have only encountered passing references to them.
Actually, I've heard of the Kcin.
You have?
Quite impressive, Commander.
Computer, summarize the Enterprise D's discovery of a Kcin outpost.
On Stardate 41386.4, the USS Enterprise D, under the command of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, discovered a Kcin outpost in the Delphi Ardu system. According to the mission summary, an unbreakable energy-draining field was deployed against the Enterprise and a Ferengi ship. The Enterprise was only able to escape after negotiating their release with an entity known as Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Kcin Empire.
Unbreakable energy draining field. It starts to make sense.
What else is there?
There's a lot here. Let's take it piece by piece.
Select the aspect you wish to learn more about.
Right, okay, let's go.
The technology to capture and hold the Federation flagship would have to be unbelievably powerful. Computer, what else can you tell us about the energy-draining field the Kcin used?
The Enterprise D was unable to break free on its own. The precise nature of the technology was never fully understood. Only that the crystalline technology used was beyond the comprehension of then-current Starfleet science.
The engineering team found a quantized spin crystal formation in the shuttle you took to Hotari. They registered tetrametric radiation coming from it.
We have Kcin technology on board right now?
We might. I'll run a full analysis in the containment lab.
What sort of planet is Delphi Ardu 4?
Delphi Ardu 4 is an M-class planet, a barren rocky world with little to no vegetation and frequent ion storms. The giant crystals that grow there absorb energy, but it is not understood how they do so. The entire Delphi Ardu system, consisting of 11 planets, was considered completely uninhabited until the encounter with Portal 6-3.
Frequent ion storms. That can't just be a coincidence. Someone from the Kcin Empire is actually still around.
Or at
like
least
Joker.
was, 16 years ago.
Computer, what other information do you have on Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Kcin Empire?
The entity known as Portal 6-3 is of an unknown nature. A biped humanoid, he was unaware that the Kcin Empire no longer existed at the time of the encounter. He was able to control the crystal-based technology of the Kcin outpost through apparent telepathic means. It was by his choice that the Enterprise was released from the energy-draining field after Commander William T. Riker of the Away Team argued on behalf of both Starfleet and the Ferengi.
Telepathic control of their technology.
As I have said, they were the most advanced civilization in the galaxy.
Right, last one. Where is that dark? Oh, there it is.
There appears to be some sort of restriction order from Starfleet. Computer, explain this restriction.
A Starfleet directive similar to General Order 7 forbids entering the Delphi Ardu system or attempting to make contact with Portal 6-3.
Starfleet doesn't throw up a no trespassing sign for just anybody.
I suppose it makes sense considering what happened to the Enterprise D.
The Elydians should have crushed the revolt. But if the Hotari have Kcin technology and can control it, I see why they're willing to negotiate peace. For all we know, this could be just the beginning. And we're up against something greater than we can imagine.
There's only one way to find out. We need to see what's down there for ourselves.
I might be able to help with that. We've been able to triangulate the source of the ionic interference and warp disruption to a specific mine on Tau. Engineering used the latest data from your shuttle to pinpoint its origin. There.
So we know where to look.
Commander Rydec's right. We need to know what's down there, what the Hotari are hiding, to better understand what we're up against, and to neutralize it if we can.
Captain, embarking on a mission to the Hotari moon would not be viewed favorably by either side. However, given the circumstances, we are entirely within our rights to defend ourselves.
I just want to make sure this doesn't blow up in our faces. Which is why I'm thinking of sending Commander Rydec on a covert mission to Tau. Assuming you're up to the task.
Have we got any
Require
choice?
absolute secrecy. And obviously, it's not without risk.
I'm ready for action, Captain. Just say the word and I'll be there.
I'll admit,
I'm ready
I wish
for
I could go
action. I'll
myself.
nip it in the bud.
I'm hoping Tylus can accompany you. The priority is to avoid detection. It's a calculated risk. The last thing we need is to get caught and then blamed for violating our neutrality and aggravating an already tense situation. We can't afford any mistakes, which is why I've chosen you.
Yeah,
Listen,
she's got to use
I'll do
stealth.
everything in my power to make sure no one knows I'm there.
Good. Of course, you'll have full support from the Resolute, and we'll make sure we take every precaution.
Every precaution.
Get in touch with Tylus and make the necessary arrangements as discreetly as possible.
Bridge to Captain Solano. The Illydians have moved additional ships to the edge of the Hotari system. Current heading is straight for the homeworld.
Understood.
It would seem we no longer have the luxury of waiting. In that case, may I suggest you and I return to Hotari Prime. Doing so will provide Commander Rydec as much time as possible to complete her mission.
Agreed. We'll hail the Queen's delegation from my ready room. We all know what we need to do. Dismissed.
Petty Officers Diaz and Edsolar, where is the crystal formation that you found in the shuttle? I have tasked Ensign Calloway with performing a full analysis of the tetrametric pulses.
Security brought it to the containment lab.
I was just there. They don't know anything about it. Security never checked it in.
Miranda never got there?
She's the one that had the crystal formation?
Yeah, her and the rest of the security detail from the negotiations.
Diaz, Tamaris.
Try her again. Commander Westbrook to Petty Officer Miranda Maris. Respond.
Something's not right.
She's still on the ship. She has to be.
Computer, locate Petty Officer Miranda Maris.
Petty Officer Miranda Maris is in the isolinear storage array on Deck 5.
I'll go find her.
Good.
I am sure Mr. Diaz can attend to this on his own.
It's full of fun, isn't it? I can attend a stud. It's a bit dark. Must have been a while since they've had a bit of nookie. Right, so we've got to find Little Miss Horney. Okay.
Someone improperly pulled these isolinear chips.
Oh, sabotage. She's up to naughties.
Miranda, you in here?
Where's that dot? Going up.
Hello?
You're gonna get a kick in the face by a foot. No, maybe not. Can you pull your phaser out? No. Oh, she's a spy. Miranda. Where art thou, naughty Miranda?
Hello? Hey! Miranda?
What the hell are you doing, Carter? You almost knocked me to the lower level. What's wrong with you?
Look, I'm in here looking for you.
Well, I'm busy. I was just leaving.
Hold on. Commander Westbrook said the crystal formation we found in the shuttle never made it to the containment lab.
I don't know why he'd say that. I brought them there myself. Whatever he told you, he got it wrong. All I know is where I left them.
If that's the case, let's both go down there and find them. It's that simple.
I don't have time for that. I have work to do. Now, if we're done here, I have to go.
Oh, she's a spy, isn't she?
Mind? I'm in the middle of my shift.
Hold on a second. What's in that box you're carrying?
It's not the crystal formation, if that's what you mean.
No, it's a data storage drive.
It's for secure data. It's really not my place to talk about it.
I want a straight answer, Miranda. What are you doing here?
Carter, if things are gonna work out between us, I'm gonna need you to trust me a little more than
Oh,
this.
she's been playing him.
Because this is not a good start to a relationship. And I don't get why you're acting this way.
It's hard to trust you when you aren't acting like yourself.
I'm not gonna keep explaining myself to you. Especially if you're not gonna listen to my answers.
Etzelar de Diaz. What's the holdup?
Don't answer that. You and I can work this out. Please.
You are seriously out of line, Miranda. First you tried to run, now this?
I'm not going to stand here and debate you.
Etzelar de Diaz. Are you okay? So I see you found each other.
You were taking so long, the commander sent us to see what the problem was. Diaz, you were sent here with specific orders, and fighting your crewmate wasn't one of them. What the hell is going on here?
Let's just let them explain.
I'd like to hear that, because I know what it looks like.
Ask her! She was doing something with this. Copying all kinds of data.
This drive is unauthorized.
There are ISOs all over the floor.
And that's why I was in here, investigating this situation. And when Carter came looking for me,
Put her in the
we
brick.
got our wires crossed. It wasn't anything more than that.
Check the data on this drive. I'm sure it'll show her access codes were used. And there were probably files copied while I was still with you two in engineering.
That makes sense.
Then get someone down here who can prove that. But until then, I have to go.
I don't know what's going on here, but I think we need to call it into security. She can explain herself in the brig.
Hold on a minute. We don't need to put this on anyone's permanent record.
Oh, is she on
Miranda,
it?
maybe you're feeling out of sorts and we should head to sickbay so the doc can check you out?
Yeah, I haven't felt right since I came back from Hotari. I think I should see the doctor.
You two know her? If you really think she's not well, we can take her to sickbay first. But what I know is this is a security breach, and we should treat it as such.
Please, just let me go see the doctor.
She did have a bumpy ride back on the shuttle.
Let's take her to sickbay. It's better than the brig, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Fine. Get checked out by medical. You two go with her. I'll put this back together.
Put the data storage in the brig or under lock and key so she can't get at it. Oh, there, that bit purple. Funny how she can breathe. Right. What lies beneath? She's on her own. Why don't you just change your clothing? Find the TLS. Right, okay. We're going to call it a day, guys. Because I've just had a ping. So we will be continue in the next episode. Yeah, what lies beneath. Take care, guys. I'll see you soon.